Welcome to That RPG podcast, where every great adventure starts with a single idea.
I'm DQ, your friendly neighborhood GM.
I'm Courtney Staples, not your friendly neighborhood GM.
And I'm Johnny Law, and I want to see the fucking Epstein list. What the? So we've been talking about getting back to school, getting organized, getting things all lined up, and so now our final item on the list, of course, is our adventure hook.
Oh, I thought it was Trump's Epstein Island, though.
That's like the bonus. That's
I
like the
see.
extra credit.
That's later.
Yeah.
So we're going to get that eventually.
No, we're gonna get that at recess.
Our adventure hook today is from Christina. She is a longtime friend of mine, actually. We go back all the way to what?
You mean longtime listener of our podcast and
Oh,
our work? Because
She's
we
our
have-
longtime
oh.
listener of Anonymous Fan. I don't know her at all. I have never met that woman. Her adventure hook reads as follows. She's titled it The Whispering Well, which is first. They actually titled it.
We'll take it. I love it.
Yeah, it's nice. It says
it's on top of the list.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Whispering Well, where all the children fell in. Yeah. So a small village has stopped drawing water from their old stone well after eerie whispers began echoing from its depths. Travelers passing through are begged to investigate before thirst drives the town to ruin. And her 3 facts about this adventure are the whispers belong to a bound spirit trapped in the well for centuries. The second fact is the spirit's seal has cracked because of a recent earthquake, and now something far darker stirs beneath it. And the third fact is a noble secretly wants the adventurers to fail, for the spirit is tied to their family's dark bargain. Now, this is a really solid premise, Christina. It almost writes itself, but your crack team of adventure GM player people, RPG types. Thus, we're gonna do something with it.
Game designers? Like, can we?
Yeah,
can we
that's what I was looking
That
at.
sounds better. Yeah.
Fine,
That
right?
sounds better.
The crack team of pizza store investigators are going to find these children, and we're going to bring the pedophiles to justice. So, how do we start this normally? Oh. So the question, I guess the first question is, what sort of genre is this? If we're imagining this world, what kind of, if we were looking at the premise when we were doing adventure design and OSR Plus, the Game Master's Guide, that's the first thing. What's the premise? So if you've been given this premise, what does it say to us as far as genre is concerned?
I'm getting like kind of, I don't know, dark fantasy type horror from it. Or on the flip side, like a dark fairy tale kind of vibe.
I definitely get the fairy tale aspect 100%. Dark I didn't necessarily, but I can go dark because the eerie. Definitely lower fantasy though, I'd assume, because it's not that it seems like that this magic is a unusual thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And there's also like the malicious intent of the noble, so that lends itself to sort of something less lighthearted and fun, right?
And with that though, it does actually push me a little bit more out of medieval and more into almost Victorian feel, like I don't know, the dark history. It can go either way, to be honest. I'm not.
It would be
Gothic
interesting to do
maybe?
something more modern, yeah. Like not like present day, but like, because we do often go to Victorian and Gothic frequently. I wonder if there's another period that we can choose that's out of.
I do kind of like modernish day now that you bring it up, or like picturing an 80s kind of vibe, like kids investigating stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like kids on bikes
Wait.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are we gonna totally eliminate the low fantasy with that though, or you want?
Yeah, why? Well, we could keep
I'm
the
fine
low
with that.
fantasy because that just means like not heavy magic, right? Low fantasy,
Or yeah, or not having as much magic.
as
but,
much magic.
Yeah.
So we can still
But
be
it-
modern and low fantasy.
but we're not doing kids. We're gonna do modern, but with some magic.
Some like
Yeah, it
paranormal
seems like
stuff.
something paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More okay.
So like the magical part seems like it would
Stranger
be,
Things, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
because
Yeah.
even Stranger Things has magic in the sense of psionics.
Mhm.
So you can have a magical character that way.
Yeah. Does that work with you, John?
No, I was gonna try to ruin the whole thing by casting Create Water from 5e, which was a thread on Reddit. This guy was like, "Oh, this like I ruined my GM by doing that," and people are like, "Well, do you expect that you're gonna stay there for the eternity to just keep making water for them? Because it doesn't last forever. Like there is a limited supply still. Like even with a cantrip, but like it didn't ruin the game. It just solved the problem for the short term. Sorry, it's a whole nother thing.
I mean, that raises the question. So if this is in the 80s, then this has to be set someplace that's far
Flint,
removed.
Michigan, done.
Yeah. So okay, so can we play with that though? Can we choose a town where they're relying on this well because the town has been poisoned in some way? Because that would make sense that the noble wants them to fail, because maybe the noble has financial ties to supplying them water from his source.
Could be like a chemical company that had polluted the water in the first
Yes.
place. Yeah.
And they don't want him to they don't want the adventurers to discover the reason why this well, they're relying on the well and why the water is poisoned. They have to thirst.
I think once again, not to get too Stranger Things, because there's kind of like the chemical company / become Russian thing. Like, but I think going back to the Flint, Michigan thing is, I think it's that someone is greedy. They they disrupt the well, but the well was not just a well. There was some kind of spirit involved as well to the well. Wow, how many well times can I? It was a well-meaning spirit tapped to the well. No. And as well. And so now that's causing some kind of resonance or disturbance overall, which awakens. Are there kids? Are we talking about kids? Is it kids? Is it kids that have been captured that are now breaking free from the island?
Well, just to touch on that really quickly, like the spirit's tied to the noble family's bargain. So that would mean that the spirit and the noble are at odds, right?
Yeah, so I'm saying like the noble own the land of inherit the land of the spirit. Their family was connected to the spirit. That's why they became so prosperous. But now they sold off the spirit to the fracking company or whatever, and that's now has so that's the secret. Like, and they're trying to stifle the spirit because the spirit is actually like, no, you're harming where the purity comes from. This, yeah, they're literally us like Trump, multiple women.
And children. And children.
Children, possibly children. We don't know 100% sure, but he definitely. He definitely raped. He's a that piece of shit.
And the noble, it seems too that the noble doesn't. This gets us away from Stranger Things, because it's not that the noble is running this company; he sold it off. So he's a villain, but he's not the central villain in that sense. So I like that setup.
So, but he wants to secretly wants the adventures to fail. So maybe the deal isn't complete yet.
Either that, or like if it's found out that he's behind it, maybe he will become the target of a spirit in some way.
I like the idea that so there's the BBG isn't necessarily the noble.
Another question I had, and again, I don't want to go too far into the lore. We don't want to get sidetracked, but we've distinguished the noble from the company. And it seems that there's a spirit that's not necessarily evil, but there's something far darker beneath it.
So levels, right? So we have the noble family that had this benevolent spirit that they had a contract, and then at some point the lineage of the nobles sold off the contract to this horrible entity. And the horrible entity is now trying to abstract the spirit to get to the other horrible thing below.
Something
so it's like, so the thing, so maybe the benevolent spirit was actually keeping, besides providing fresh water, it was maybe it was a purifier of sorts, or it's a giant oyster. It's a filter, and it's just going through it, but below it is something even is horrible. And then so it's not even just losing the water, you're going to unleash this terror.
And it would make sense, like, could be valuable resources down there that the company wants, that are tied with that darker entity as well.
And this is something that the GM can flesh out. So like if we stop here, we've put enough on the table for the GM to really make that work for their setting, because we figured out how the elements are connected.
And also to allow the players to have input, like in session 0, like what these actually, like Courtney said about the ore, like you don't necessarily need that. It could just be that the horrible entity wants the other horrible entity out. Like it's like, like how the GOP is allowing Russia to just, manipulate our country. But maybe they want something like money, which is down there. So that's their motivation. Like that's up to the players to decide how close to reality and the fall of American society that they want. But that's great.
Yeah. So okay. So we figured the genre out. It seems the overall goal of the players is pretty self-evident in that they're investigating the situation and they want to save the town from the peril they face. Right. Now, again, and the GM can finagle. If these are going to be kids, I don't. Are these players kids? Are they all kids, or are they not? Like, what do we think in terms of the player's identity?
Yeah, or for like the archetypes. I think I'm stuck on like the teenage kids because of the game Grounded, in which you play teenage kids in like I think it's like 80s or 90s. But like you got the nerd, the goth, punk kind of girl, the athlete. I forget what the other guy is, but yeah, like you can work pretty easily with those sorts of tropes too.
So we want to stick with younger people. I mean, there's also a sense that you can counteract the genre. We decided it was kind of like spooky, dark fantasy adjacent modern, right? But if you have hopeful teenagers, you can shift this to be like hope punk if you wanted it to be. Not that I'm saying that's what we should do, but you could by having the players have a certain innocence to them.
I wasn't dead set on kids, but I'm back to it. I'm on it. I like the idea of the and once again, when we're talking about like magic systems in this, are we thinking it's more like psychic stuff? Is it imagination? Is it goodwill? Like what's your
Yeah, I feel like it's more grounded in reality. So, like, yeah, maybe some like psychic powers or like some occultish stuff that we could tie in there, but like they're not going to be casting fireballs necessarily.
I could see like three ways to do what you're saying. Like one, you could go the very tropey. These were kids, troublesome kids that are connected to the company that have been experimented on and have some kind of powers. That's like the very tropey mutant one. You could go with some of the kids are haunted by essences of the spirit and have medium adjacent powers. So more like divination sort of stuff. Or you could have psychical abilities that way. Third one, which I just was thinking of too, is like maybe the presence of the spirit being unsealed gives them certain imaginative power. So like the ability to imagine things into existence from
That's
their
cool.
creativity.
I like that. Yeah.
jump onto that last part and this might work out really nicely. So what if there's something about the leaching out of the spirits coming out and they can tap into it and maybe they're tapping the darker, maybe they're tapping the better. But then also you can have the ones that haven't tapped into it and they're like the marshals. But they're not, but somehow the tapping the spirit weakens you in another way, like in a physical way or it doesn't. But like so you can have like the different you can basically make classes like
You can balance it too. Like maybe the marshals are immune to that kind of magic, but the ones who have the magic, they have a duality that to choose from that's always in balance, like the dark force and the good force, and is a danger to using the power. But the marshals, because they're not tuned to it, they're safe from it, that duality.
yeah. Oh, it's cool rule rock, paper, scissors almost.
Daggerheart would work for hope and fear. If some of the leaders of that company weren't too cowardly, maybe they could run this in Daggerheart. But let's just run it in 5e instead.
How about this actually? Daggerheart, we got a campaign for you all set up. Come on. Send your production company over to us. We'll run it for you. We'll learn your stupid game and then change it to us. Actually, Daggerheart does sound like kind of a cool.
It does sound
Yeah.
cool.
I'm happy that they're
It
doing it.
seems nice. I like hope and fear. Yeah.
I got it. All right. So we already talked about like there's like something about the bleeding of water or whatever. Like
Leaching of chemicals into the water.
leaching chemicals or the good or the bad, the filtered or whatever. What if this all started as like an after school art class, like a club? And so like different people are drawn to it, but then you could have like the martially people are like forced into it for one reason or
Oh,
another.
yeah.
Like,
They need the credit for class.
yeah, credit for the class or like or they're
Or there's a
trying to-
hot girl or hot guy and they're trying to get
something, but it's like it's like a not breakfast club. But
It's like and maybe they're going out to the area with the well to like gather,
And
I don't know,
something huge
supplies,
happens,
like
yeah.
nature stuff to use in their art. I don't know.
you have a teacher NPC who's like the cool hippie NPC, in the 80s.
You could have a teacher
man.
player, possibly.
Yeah,
You
true.
know? I mean,
Well,
allow it.
Let's talk about archetypes then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's there you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some notes this time and I'm gonna list them because I always have problems remembering what we came up with.
Oh, yeah. I feel like even like the hot one could be
Popular hot one.
yeah, like popular hot one. Like,
Yeah. We're gonna do high school tropes, 100%, right? But how can we do a little bit more than that? Like I feel like
Maybe dark or light.
Yeah.
skins, thematically, right? So like if we're thinking of the hot girl, hot guy, usually we think dark.
So wait, Can I propose something a little bit weird? Can we come up with vaguer archetypes, but every character picks two? So you have like, and they can be tropey. It's fine, but you have a duality. So you're like you're the heart, but the politically minded, or you're the hot, but the athletic, or you're the hot, but also nerdy. And you pick the start where you're at, and then you decide as you go through like how it. So we need like 8 to 12 to be honest. Yeah.
Like the rebel, the nerd, the goth.
So we got I've right see hot girl guy, which is let's say popular. Popular, we got the rebel, we got the nerd, goth, A student, and then I put outsider, but we'll be able to merge that. There's who else? There's always like I don't want to say the the athlete. I don't want to say there's like the autistic kid, but there's always the kid that's like weird, but like
Left field.
the weirdo.
Like the weirdo. The weirdo.
Yeah,
no,
the weirdo. Yeah. The art kid, the theater kid.
the bully. There is the debater political
Nerd type.
adult would be a good
The adult.
because
Just
that's
the
a
adult,
whole,
yeah.
So you should have the hard, you have the cool art teacher, right? So what are those? Because the hard art teach you something useful, but the cool art teacher can also teach you something useful.
Or yeah, like it could just be like the hard, the chill one as the two, and that way you could have them fill like any job type role. Like one of them could be the janitor or something.
So we've got this long list. I want to stop us because we'll keep going.
Okay,
All right. So let's we all can look at this list. I feel like there's some we can merge, right? So like the theater kid and the art kid are both art people. The nerd and the A student could also be paired. I know that they have different mentalities.
That's I think that was I think
They should be merged.
Yeah, just nerd.
Now the goth and the rebel. My argument is at the heart, a goth is rebelling against the status quo of fashion, and the rebel is also rebelling against whatever the status quo is. I feel like they're the same thing.
I guess I'm just thinking of like Breakfast Club and how there's like the weird goth girl. She was just like kind of quiet and weird and artsy.
Maybe she's merges with the wallflower, so we drop her.
No, but that's the thing that she is created from those two aspects. I'm saying is that goth has is like an influence on is like a focus on death and like inclusivity, whatever. Whereas rebellion or punk is about fuck the system. And wallflower is like leave me alone. Yeah, they're three very different things, and they can.
Or like the wallflower would be the introvert, I think.
The introvert.
Yeah, wallflower introvert is 100%. Yeah.
Is there
I
a
feel
word we can use to make the goth not tied to specifically gothness? That's what I'm getting at. Because it's like if this was a different decade, goths we don't have goths really.
The doom, like the death gloomy one, the morbid
one. That gives us more room. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Got it. So that's different than rebel.
Yeah,
the press because now we have a distinction. We have rebel is about pushing forward and boundaries. The morbid one looks inward. So I think it's a genius idea in that now you have minimal archetypes that when you put them together, they create an archetype. And this would go through more refinement, I think. As a GM, we would figure it out. But we want to just demonstrate in this episode that this is a way to approach archetypes that is very unconventional but could work, and it's modular.
I think I once again, this is one of those things I want to play. Like,
same.
When we come up with something like it sounds really fun. Like,
I do like this a lot, and like I like the idea too that people could roll the same random things multiple times, or like you could have two rebels, but they have different other modifiers, so it like becomes a totally different vibe with them, and you could see all these sorts of different things branching off. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I'm gonna use this.
Well, I'm just thinking about like session 0 though. Like Courtney and I both roll rebel, and she rolls the bully, and I roll the chill one. But so we're from the same gang, but like, I mean, what's the relationship there? Am I keeping her cool? Am I just under like? Have I dealt with her? Like, I don't know. Like, it'd be a really fun.
Or like you're just like a stoner, and I'm the one who wants to like get shit done. And
a couple.
Yeah. I want to run a game. I had talked about this briefly on our Discord that called, which is supposed to be like kids on bikes, Stranger Things kind of thing. And this would be a perfect system for archetypes.
I think we should. I think you should. How do we we need the only thing we have to figure out is how to roll these with 15. I think we might
That we would get in the weeds if we were developing that. But now we gotta set our archetypes aside because we did the work. We have enough inspiration for this GM to do it. We did amazing
Someone
work.
else's problem.
Yes, it's not our problem right now. So now we know the characters, they've embodied these archetypes that are really tied to the feeling of the setting. So now what setting? That's the nodes. Like what's the scenes that we can bounce around at?
I mean, we have a ton of options for like school class, like different classrooms could be even, or if you just wanted the school as one big one, but that might be too big. So probably narrow it down to different classrooms, like the science lab, the art studio, the gym, etc. But then there would also be like the corporate headquarters kind of thing.
Can I propose something?
Mhm.
Acts. So I don't know if the initial like finding is part of the session 0 or that's actually part of the thing. But my mind would be like, so the session 0 would be part of their field trip out to look this where the kids start getting the powers basically, and then you would have act 1 would be in school and it'd be developing the story within that, and then act 2 could be part in school but also like another field trip or whatever, and then act 3 is like actually taking on the corporation, like like then that's at that point maybe they actually level up too like throughout it and get more powers and whatever, like so they're starting to like develop it. And like, so I was just thinking, like it'd be like nodes should be almost like you could still reuse nodes between the acts, but they'd be more focused around like what their level of knowledge of the situation is.
From a game design perspective, like what you're talking about, at least from the concept of like node-based linear design, is like we've mostly focused on a group of scenes or nodes that are interconnected that funnel towards an outcome. But on the larger scale, when you zoom out, you end up having groups of nodes like this. And there's certain, at least in our game design document, like or the Game Master's Guide, we talk about certain scenes having yielding adventure hooks that point to other scenes in other groups of them. So that if I'm in the school, right, I might have a scene where an adventure hook talks about something in the company that's a clue, because it's not going to come into play, but it makes you aware that there is a whole nother act, like you're saying, that has a bunch of scenes in it. So you can, as you're designing this as a game master, you can take a zoom out and you go, okay, I know I'm not ready to deal with these other acts yet, but I know I need to connect them together. So as I'm building my scenes, I'm going to think about what adventure hooks are doorways into the other acts, essentially.
Like they could find a book, they could find a file, they could find something, or maybe like a deed that was signed with the thing that lead on to the part about the learning about the spirits, whatever. Like I don't know. What do you guys do? You agree with this concept, or would you like to go a different direction? Or?
Yeah, I think it works. Like, I mean, I had started listing off classrooms because I had the idea that like, oh, the school is too big to be just one node in itself, and so I think that works with that in mind too. Like, the school as a body of
Yeah,
nodes. Yeah.
the school could actually start off as a giant. I mean, the first act is the school's all the nodes. Like you're not leaving the school. That's it. But then, like the second act, the school has certain rooms that might matter, like chemistry lab or gym class, whatever happened in the first act. And then by the final act, the school is a node. Like you can go back to the school, but you can hit all the rooms at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's that idea of like you're going macro, like.
And I think that's like really smart design, because you as a GM have in mind, you don't have the specifics in mind, but you have in mind that there are these other places. Like when we think about God Beyond the Portal and we talk in terms of the language you're using of acts, there's 2 acts. There's Edania, the city you're in, and then there's Tormsdale, which you haven't gone to. But in designing Edania and designing Tormsdale, there are interrelated hooks. And you've even covered certain hooks that refer to Tormsdale. Okay. Who is the antagonist of this adventure?
Well, we have a couple ideas, but I would like to hear what you guys would think.
So you're thinking like somebody from the corporation as an antagonist. The noble was like kind of a more minor player, as it turned out. Probably just some like business owner in the town, or landowner.
Is there a different one per act?
That's
Ooh, that's a good idea.
That makes sense as it like zooms out.
Noble for the first one, but then what's the second and third? Because they could go either way.
I think that they're middle antagonists.
Is it the beast or is it the corporation?
I think the corporation's middle, because that's an expected antagonist.
Yeah. Okay.
We want to. You know what? My first thought, and this is an abstraction, but my first thought is the antagonist is your dark sides as characters, and that the evil underneath the city manifests through your players. So by the time you get to the end, you realize you have to confront the things that you've been absorbing all along in order to defeat it.
Yes. Yes.
What if it's noble to start, right? Corporation, the second act when you're starting to branch out. And by the third act, we think we're going after the beast underneath, but it's actually
It's
ourselves.
inside of us already. Like by going this far in the journey, you've brought it into the world and it's in you.
And maybe some players don't have to deal with that as much as others because of what their actions.
Everyone's in this together. So like even those who have been corrupt, the ones who aren't corrupt are there. They have to lean on them to help them.
And if you have a player that either sucks and you got to kick them from your table, or they're just not showing up, then they can be like the Akira version, like was it Tetsuo? What is it? Tetsuo is the one that changes the end. I can't. It's been yeah, but like they can become the giant. Yeah.
So I think we've done a fantastic job on this.
We didn't actually talk about more. No, I think we do need to do a quick node sweep.
Okay.
Yes.
In the 3 acts, sure.
And so I think Courtney did a really good job in the early. I mean, it's basically it's a high school. It's breaking down the gym, but all things that reflect to the different.
Even your friends' houses, your parents' like the surrounding schools.
Would that be like Act 2?
I don't. It could be.
I think that should be Act 2. I think Act 2 should be the town.
Stands out a little bit. The town and the company.
Still leaving like 3 or 4 nodes for the school. And I think that's reflective on whatever your group is doing. But so other besides friends' houses, what else would we do? Like a pizza parlor, arcade, or like mall in general?
The mall, yeah.
Yeah. Like a makeout point maybe. That could be something weird happen there because it's outside of town.
A lake, kind of thing. No, I think that makes sense. It's a town really, and what would be in the town?
The lake would probably be the focal point.
And we've taken a sort of angle with this to expand the idea of they're thirsting and they're begging for a solution. Thirst here metaphorically means more than just literal thirst. It means that the town is suffering from this stuff.
Yeah. No, I think definitely metaphorical is bad. So then the third element though, what would
I think it's under the well. I think it's two things. It's a physical investigation of whatever's under the well. Like, I'm talking like cavernous, shadowy, scary place. And also perhaps where you're going is a mental landscape. Like you go into this place, but you're also traveling in the places that you've imagined all along.
Okay, hold on. All right. So I think into the well, right? Into the corporation.
And deeper into it. Is that like 2?
No, so we're talking about 3 now, right?
So I thought in Act 2 we might go into the corporation too itself and investigate it in the town. Because it's in the town.
No, but so Act 2 we would know about it, but you wouldn't infiltrate it.
Oh, what I'm suggesting is when you get to Act 3, you get real weird with it.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying part of the real weird though is if you're infiltrating this weird diabolical, like you're getting into the fucking.
Okay, so we put the well and the company together. So it's like you're going through the company to get to the well.
Yes and no. Maybe they're connected as nodes, but I'm thinking going into the well is like a natural way of going in through it. Well, they have tunnels that go into it, but I'm saying, but you're infiltrating somehow. Someone's getting a job there and getting or somehow you're getting an ID code. Like it's an option to get more information about.
So we mix some of the companies,
and they have a chute down to it. They have an elevator down to it that you could.
I could see a lot of the archetypes like having different ways to get in there. Like the rebel could just pick a lock, or the Politico could get like access through some kind of credentials, journalistic stuff, things like that.
That makes sense because it's kind of like the company has glommed itself around the well. So maybe the final deepest nodes is when we start taking this metaphysical leap.
And then from there, somehow either through tools of the corporation or through the actual experience of the well, you can then go to the metaphysical astral plane elements to it. It kind of like branches out. Yeah, you go either direction, and it's kind of the good or the evil version too.
Like it's all about the choices you made. As a smart GM, the choices you made throughout the acts should then have significance here. They should be, my favorite word, reified, made physical.
And I think same thing with the school and the homes. Like, so in Act 2, the elements of the school that are still available to revisit are kind of reflective of the choices made in Act 1. And in Act 3, the homes and the home bases or maybe the pizza parlor, maybe
becomes your hideout.
the pizza parlor, by sucking the of little children, you actually. But yeah, I mean, like maybe, but it gives flexibility on the node. Like it's like a general concept. I want to play this.
I'm stealing all of this for. No one make anything called. I'm going to bleep out the word that I just used because you're not going to hear it because I'm going to use it later. So
Yeah.
Look, he's talking to the developers right now.
Developers ruining the world. First you gave us JavaScript and now you give us AI. What's wrong with you?
No, and I like the imagery that comes into like with the imaginative stuff that they had been casting spells with before, and like or the dark paths and how those come back.
Okay, so we did all the work. Now we have the twists. And I borrowed from Rob. I think that was a wonderful thing he would say when we did twists and Robo with us. So who has a D4 handy? It better not be a monster again. God damn.
No, monster.
Don't roll a 1. If you roll a 1, I quit.
The monster is manned.
4.
Oh, thank God. Okay, a story hook. This is a new one. So the idea with this, let's see if we go to story hook. I have all the story hooks here. It's like literally the person, place, thing, group, people bonds from our tables.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to sort them randomly. But the idea is we're going to use this story hook to develop our concept further. So, for example, we could end up with a merchant company, and we've got to incorporate that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
15.
A font of magic or power is what we got. That seems very obvious, but we've got to put it in an unusual place then.
Oh, all right. So it has to be either the antithesis of the well, or what if it was like I'm like trying to think of like something that they
magical list of some
would
kind.
know. It's something that would like give them bonuses that they didn't know they were getting like throughout the game. Like I was trying to think like maybe it's actually a beverage that's been made from this water, like a soda, and like somehow you dangle it in front of them to like, but how do you do that without making it obvious? I don't know.
And the question too is like, how do we extend this thematically, right? Like as opposed to mechanically.
Tacit we're giving is actually a magical font, so that's our biggest problem.
That would mean that magical means something else. That's one way we can look at it. So let's not think of it as literally magical or literally powerful in the sense of like magical power.
Maybe it's more like a source of knowledge or something like that. Like
it's something springs forth. That's a font.
Maybe it's like something who's related to the noble's lineage and how that all ties together.
Yeah, because we didn't really explore that. I mean, if we think of this directionally in terms of theme, like a well goes downward, right? The water is extracted. A font pushes outwards. So if, like you're saying, this is knowledge tied to the family, what are we receiving from this wellspring?
What if the relatives of the noble are a varying degree of like importance because of how they've actually acted? Like the one that we know is of like the dean or whatever. I don't know what he even is, if he's just the mayor of the town or whatever. But like what if there's this aspect of like you track down his lineage and they actually can like bring us closer to understanding the good side, not the dark side, and they could help turn people that are dark leaning to.
Yeah, maybe some sort of catacomb-esque investigation of his lineal tombs or graveyard.
Dewey Decimal System in the.
Yeah, I was thinking it could be like the library, or it could be like a hermit in the woods kind of thing. Like
literally a Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah, AOL chat rooms.
Yeah.
So we're saying then, like, really, it's about to solve a lot of these problems. We need to understand the lineage of the well and everything. So part of it is going to the town library. Part of it is the rebel, like looking on AOL chat and reaching into the dark web. It's about surfacing knowledge. The font of power is the knowledge you get.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
There you go. Reading Rainbow.
That's the more you know. No, that's not.
Yeah. G.I. Joe. That's G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe.
No, that's knowing is half the battle.
Oh, right.
Knowledge is power is who's that's from something.
What should be like from some Christian conservative like
is Googling. Yeah.
She's using her stalker powers. We forgot an archetype, the stalker. That's what Courtney is.
I think that's the weirdo.
That tracks. Um,
It's the weirdo and the nerd together. It's okay. It's
And the
really good.
vampire. She's also the Mormon.
it's commonly attributed to Sir Francis Bacon.
Oh,
Okay. There you go.
maybe one of the relatives is Sir Francis Bacon.
Bacon.
It's fine. We figured it out. We just were reaching too far. We were so easy. Wow, fantastic. We did it.
Support your local libraries, everybody.
Yeah. Before they're all banned.
Yeah.
Before they're all banned.
You can follow us at OSR Plus on YouTube or join our Discord at osrplus.com. If you want to support us, visit our Patreon, patreon.com/OSR Plus, for early access to our content and premium access to our digital tools. See you next time.
Good night, everybody. Give us the list.